Hello to all our subscribers and welcome to any new subscribers. Rod and I have been traveling. We started out in the Kgalagadi and from there went into Namibia to join the Skeleton Coast tour, and after that spent more time in Namibia. We finally tackled Van Sales. We then spent 3 weeks in Angola, back into Namibia to travel the Caprivi and into Botswana for a couple of weeks. So we have lots to share and we do hope you enjoy. And if you do enjoy, please give us a thumbs up or subscribe. It really helps us grow our channel. It's the 31st of March. It just happens to be my birthday. We are at the Malopo or Malopo campsite, as the lady who checked us in called it. We had a lovely evening last night. We ate in the restaurant. Yesterday afternoon, I'm trying not to shoot into the sun. We had a great swim in the pool. They've got 12 campsites, and each block of 4 campsites has a bathroom, each with a private shower and loo, which is really nice. So today's adventure is we're off into the Kgalagadi. We've never been there before. We're very excited. There's been lots and lots and lots of rain, so there may even be water in the Nosab or Arab rivers.
Good morning, Siobhan. How are you?
I'm good. Did you see the owl?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go and see if I can capture him.
Which one is it?
Below. The Kgalagadi Transfrontier National Park is perhaps one of those places that people keep secret because it's too special to share. I had received Peter Derrick's book, The Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park Self-Drive Guide, as a Christmas gift in 2023, and I was so excited to experience the park in all of its glory. With Peter's permission, I have lifted some information from his book, which we referenced 24/7 while we were in the park. There had been a lot of rain in the week before we arrived. In fact, there were pictures on social media of the rivers flowing, but we were not certain what to expect. We had planned a 6-night stay, which is perhaps not enough. One should perhaps plan 3 or 4 nights at least in each of the main camps, as there are so many waterholes and picnic sites to explore, as well as the excellent exhibitions. Our first sortie, once we had bagged our campsite at Caprivi for the night, was to the Samavloyen waterhole, which is where the Nosab and Arab rivers meet. After much searching in all my birding apps, Roberts finally assisted us in identifying the lark-like bunting, which is a new bird for us. Waterholes are integral to the KTP. The early settlers, who were farmers in the area, were allowed to farm under condition of maintaining the boreholes and thus the waterholes. According to Peter Derrick's book, in very dry years, when even the summer melons disappeared, these farmers had no choice other than to hunt, which in tandem with the biltong hunters gradually decimated the game. Much of the work in terms of surveying the land and establishing the boreholes happened before the First World War. At Achterluni, one can see the home and well and workshop of one of the early farmers / borehole caretakers, perhaps Jan Human. The buildings are built with the local calcrete stone, which is the same stone that is used to pave the roads across the dunes. The museum here is one of the many fine exhibitions you will see dotted throughout the park. there's much more than just the fauna and flora. We absolutely love this park. It's wild, it's out of the way. It was really hot today. So after our morning drive, we came back and did a few chores and had a swim. This is one of Rod's rodifications. It's just a piece of canvas. All we did with this is we sewed some Velcro, we, being me, sewed some Velcro along the edge. So it can be a landscape or a portrait, and provides some really excellent shade. And of course our famous tablecloth that used to belong to a lady we met in on the border of Zambia and Tanzania. It's Tuesday the 2nd of April. A new adventure, new hat. Thanks, sis. In April, sand parks changed their gate opening times to 07 hours in the morning. We were at the gate at 06 hours 53, waiting to get out. So let's see what we can see today. Say good morning, Rod.
Good morning, everybody. Beautiful day here today.
We're trying out some new equipment. We upgraded our sound. We've now got a DJI Mic 2. So we're going to see if that improves, especially shooting when there's wind and that kind of thing. And we're really hopeful. I've never been to the Kgalagadi before. We spent one night at Caprivi and last night we were at Mata. Both of these camps are lovely. Probably some of the nicest sand parks camps we've ever come across. Caprivi, the bathrooms were fancy. Never mind clean and neat and blah blah. Fancy. And there's all these smelly campers trooping in there and washing their dishes. This little guy is the sociable weaver, and he and his extended family make these huge nests which eventually collapse the camel thorn trees. We spent some time in the Raptor Center at Mata, which has a host of really excellent information about the raptors in the area. As you see, Rod and I saw many of them. Good morning. It's Wednesday the 3rd of April. We're en route to Nasa. We spent 2 nights at Mata, and we've stopped at the Kamkwa picnic site for a bathroom break and a little bit of a leg stretch. We've had quite an exciting morning this morning. We saw an African wildcat. Unfortunately, it was hiding behind a tree, but we did manage to get some good shots of it. We saw a pair of secretary birds gathering sticks to build a nest, which was quite exciting. And we've got the assistant chef here making breakfast.
Morning.
Rod and I are really impressed with this park. I think I have mentioned we weren't expecting it to be so green. Last night we had a hell of a storm. They did have some good rain about a week and a half ago, which has caused all the little yellow flowers to come out. They're called double cheese, but I'll stop and show you. And then there's this otherworldly structure over here where a camel thorn tree has fallen down. But I keep thinking they look like great big huge bawucha or something like that. The Kgalagadi Transfrontier National Park is certainly well worth a visit. After breakfast at Kamkwa, we continued along the dune road through some huge puddles, and at the Valpan came across a cheetah with a recent kill. There were a few other vehicles, but as this is a Kgalagadi, we were able to hang out there for as long as we wanted. All the KTP sand parks camps are fenced. We did not visit the Botswana end of the park, so I cannot comment about those, but generally camps in Bots are wilder than in South Africa. It is essential to check in and check out of each camp so the park's board people know who is where and know when to send out a search party. This is the Wi-Fi tree. It's a species we see here and there across Africa, and is generally where the signal is strongest. There are huge mesquite trees that provide such valuable shade in the campsite, and in talking to one of the lady rangers, I learned that they are a pest as they consume huge amounts of water and that they are slowly being eradicated. Oh, he's so sweet. We had such a lovely day driving around the various spots close to Nosib. We stopped for a leopard tortoise and had a chat with a pair of fellow campers who directed us to a weaver's nest which had a huge Cape cobra hunting in it. There were a pair of lions mating, but this is a family show, so no explicit pics, please. Leaving Nosib early the following morning to travel back to Caprivi, we found some fresh lion tracks, which we followed for perhaps 2 kilometers. We had heard the lions calling in the night. My brain was singing, "I'm going on a lion hunt, I've got my binoculars," which was a family favorite from when our granddaughter Addie was a wee thing. We stopped at the Roy Putts waterhole to admire the beautiful old Sturz and Lloyd wind pump and enjoy the irony of the new solar panel, one of many in South Africa, which are slowly replacing these old icons. I had allowed a couple of hours on our final day at Caprivi to explore the Interpretation Centre. This was woefully insufficient for the wealth of information and artifacts on display. I have linked to the brochure and the video about the Interpretation Centre, and I have included some of that video that I took. One of the quotes that stood out for me: "The dance is like a prayer, a voice that calls out, and you try your best to make a connection to the earth through your feet. And everyone joins in, the little ones also. A connection between heaven and earth is established. It's a spiritual thing. It's not the dance that matters, but what's in your head." This was a quote from Petrus Falboy, one of the traditional leaders. Rod and I hope you have enjoyed traveling through the South African part of the Kgalagadi National Park with us. I highly recommend you get a copy of Peter Dietrich's book. I have linked to his website. Let me know if you have any questions, and look out for our next video. We will be journeying to Namibia and up the Skeleton Coast to play in the dunes.